Good morning, student. Am I audible perfectly?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, student, for your response. Let's we wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Most of students join. Then we start our lab session. And EC1 class and batch that is the C. So once again, good morning, and let's we start our last lecture quick revisions where we go through text formatting tag like a bold, how we represent the text into the bold, then italic, then underline, then paragraph, as well as the BR tag for the break the line, how we represent the output into the new line. So these are the tag generally that we call for the text formatting, where you can make some font bold, italic, underline, paragraph, or break the line. Next, that we go for the changing the font. Like for example, if you change the font color, font size, that font style. So we have one tag that we call a font tag. Now in font tag we have three attribute like a font color. You can set a color as per your requirement directly, where you write down that color name. Now in a font color we have a two method. One, you go through the hexadecimal representations, okay, where you have to write down a six alphabet combination through like 0 to 9 or A to F, and then after you write down that specific color. That also you can do it. Then also you can change the size, where the size input, that is a 1, that is a too small, and 7, that is a large. Then also you apply a font face, that is a font style like a Times New Roman, Arabelli. That also you can easily set it. Let's we continue. Next, that we see the tag that is a link tag where you redirect one page to another page. So where we apply a href. So that is the meaning hypertext reference. Okay, whatever page that you have to open, that page link where you have to provide it. That example that already we go through it. Then next that we add insert the image. It means how we add the image through the HTML tag. So that we already see. Now we go through the image tag where we learn a different data attribute. So where you can resize the image. Then like if you represent the image on top, bottom, then middle part, that also you can set it, as well as you can based on the pixel and percentage, where you can easily change your image particular size. So let's we continue with the image tag where last lab we have to left. Now, one instruction before today, Saturday, I have put one message in WhatsApp group where I request to all students to join a Google Classroom regarding the workshop subject. Now in Google Classroom, we set the syllabus that again different content like PPTs, lab manuals, similar whatever things that we upload into the e-content. Same all detail I upload in Google Classroom also. Now in a Google Classroom where you have to upload your lab manual also, because we have a last 80 mark that is a end semester viva. So where as per the computer side where we have to practical, so that two practical lab file that you have to upload it, and that lab file format also I have uploaded in your e-content last week, as well as also I today upload in a Google Classroom where all student is joined it. Now, any student face the issue of joining the Google Classroom, just put the message. Again, I repeat, any student can face the issue joining the Google Classroom. And if you not joined, again, just go through the My Saturday message and please join it workshop subject Google Classroom. So let's we continue with our image take. Yes, there is a one question from Dharmik. Sir, can you share the link of YouTube channel in a drive of lecture? Yes, I also shared the link of the my workshop subject lecture where you can easily get that link. So again, same take, we go through it, image, then SRC, meaning of SRC, we have to provide it that a source file address, that image name with that extension. Now my screen is visible. Output, I have added one GTU logo in a web page. Okay, thank you, student. So that is the last lecture where we have to complete it. Now you can see the image that is a larger size. Now, for example, I have to like set that GTU logo to like is a actual logo size where I have to just reduce that width as well as the height. So now in image tag, we have like a different property where we have to set it like a border, width, height, alter, align, that many attribute where we use for the image tag. So let's just go for that example. The first two attribute that we have width and height, and where we represent the n, that is the a number where we represent into the pixel, or also you can represent into the percentage. It means you have to resize the image with a two way. Either you directly write down the a pixel of that, otherwise you directly write down the percentage. Now, for example, use 100%. That means it's represent the picture into the actual size. So let's first we go through the basic two parameter width as well as the height. So now you can see I have applied width equal to 100 and height equal to again 100. That is represent into the pixel. So now you can see the image is resized to a previous output. Now like for example we said 200. Again you can see it's increase. Now for example I have increased width only. Now you can see it's look like actual logo size. So based on your requirement, you can easily set that width as well as the height for the making the perfect picture of as per the your requirement. Same way too, you can use multiple image also as per the your requirement. And again, one point as we discussed in last lecture, same. For example, your image as well as the your actual file should be available in the same locations. Then you directly write down that image name with that extension. But for example, your download image file, maybe it's available on another locations. Then you have to provide it that your actual, sorry, entire path like D drive, then ABC folder, and then after that file, and again maybe in a subfolder like available CD, and in this it's available. So that is we call where we have to provide it that path, and then after that file name with extension. But I suggest okay, you have to store the image with a same locations where your file it will be available. You can see the here that is a basic text HTML file my as well as the whatever image I have to download that so into the web page that also I have set into the same locations. Maybe it's available on another, so you have to provide it a entire path. Like now you can see that MU logo that I have to insert into the web page. So let's that is again I have to check a file type, so that is a PNG.
हेलो हेलो गुड मॉर्निंग सर विवेक बोल रहा हूँ सर किशन सर लेक्चर में है सर एकदम बढ़िया सर जी हाँ जी जी सर एकदम बढ़िया सर बिल्कुल सर सब एकदम ठीक है सर अभी हाँ जी
So now student you can see the output. I also added Harvard University a logo. So you can use multiple image in your web page as per your requirement. Now you can see I have represent the both have to actual size. You can see the MU file that is in regular as well as the GTU logo also have resized to look like a both image as a similar. So that is the way where you have to change a width as well as the height. So that we call a two attribute where you can resize your image as per the your requirement, as well as you can use a multiple image also as per the your requirement. Now next we have a attribute that is a border. Now in a border where we have to like set a specific outside the image like a border with a dark black line. So that also you can set it as per the your requirement where you have to some highlight or represent in inside the some specific box. So that also you can easily use it. So let's we go for that out. Now you can see I have applied a border equal to 10. So that is the 10 pixel thickness border. It's generated to a GTU logo. Like same way to I have generate with MU, like a 5 size. So you can see that also it's a represent as per the requirement. That also you can set it border for the that a specific image. Now you can see it's look like both similar. So based on the border, you can also set a resize, as well as you can easily compare as per your requirement. So now you can easily understand the meaning of border, okay, where outside the image that is a one line, it's a representer. If you like set as a thickness, so you have to just increase the border size, sorry, a border number like a 50, 40, 30 as per the your required method. That also you can resize it. So that one property that we called a border. Now next we have a property that is regarding H space as well as the V space. Now H space, that is the meaning of H, so that we called a horizontal. It's a put a space for the image, where like if you represent put some space specific to browser left hand side as well as the right hand side. So that's why you have to use a H space. So that is work for the horizontal. Remove, sorry, put some space for the image. And similar way, another attribute that we called a V space. So that is put a space for the vertical in place of the your whatever image size. So let's we go for that a demo, okay, how it's look like. Now you can see the here exactly meaning of the H space. After the like completing your whatever text, then that it's a put that is the space. You can see the here a text and after the image, so that we called like a H space. That I have a set like a 50 pixel, so that 50 it will be a shifted to a horizontal. Like same way to we increase to up to 200. You can clearly see difference between both. So that is we called a V space. So that is the things where we sorry called a H space. Now next that we have a property that we called a V space. Again, like set 100. Now you can see it's a put from here a vertical. So it's put a vertical space for the meaning of the V space. So that I was set like a 100. Same way to like I was set 200. So you can see again image it's represent as a below. Now you can see again a down the present. So that we called a meaning of a V space. So you can put a space horizontal as well as the vertical. Both you can easily give the margin as per the your requirement with respect to the browser. Now the last attribute that we called a align. Now in align we have a 5 input. You can see one it top. Next you can see the middle, then bottom, then right, and then left. Now here the align, that is a relation to a text. It means with reference to whatever text that represent in your browser. Based on that, it's a represent with your aligner like top, middle, bottom, right, and left. There is a one questions. Sir, we have to buy a laptop in SEM 1 or SEM 2, or it not a necessary for the first year. Dharmik, it's depend on your subject. Now, as I said, for the workshop subject, you have to not require purchasing the laptop, because whatever command or take I have to practice it, that you can easily do in your mobile. So it's not essential for the workshop subject. You have to compulsory require laptop. Again, I repeat, in a workshop subject, you can do the HTML practice through in your mobile. So let's we go for the last attribute, that is align. So now you can just see the output. The previously the text it's represent below, and now you can see it's represent into the top. So that is the meaning of with this with a reference to a text or with relation to a text, it's represent your aligner. So that is, we can say the top as a text and then after the image, like same way to we said for the middle. So now you can see exactly as an image middle, it's represent your text. So it's a change the with respect to a text for the your align also. Let's next we go for the bottom. Now you can see the output. It's a redirect to with a bottom part. And next we have a right. So that is you can see the slightly image, it's lefted to a right hand side. Same way to we have a left. So you can see the your font it's now redirect to a left hand side. So these are the 5 align that also you can set into the image. That is the attribute we already see with height, border, h space, v space, as well as the align. Now next take we have like a list of the order. Okay, how we represent, like if you represent 5 roll number or 10 any book name or 6 your subject name, that also like if you represent with some days, some point, that also you can represent it. So that we called like a order list. Now in order list, again we have a 2 category with one we called unordered list and second we called a order list. Now you go through like unordered list. So it's a start from the tag UL. The meaning of UL that we called a unordered list. Why it's called unordered list? You can see the here the output. It's a represent as a like a disc, circle, or square. It means there is a not any sequence. So that's why it's called a unordered list. Next we go for the order list. So it's a start from the OL. So where you can see the output, it's a represent the serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the difference between order list as well as the unordered list. because if you represent the unordered list, so it's start from the like disk, that is a default circle, or we can say here a square. But if you go through the order, so where you get a serial number. So that is the difference between unordered list and ordered list. Now the question is how we define the that tag. So it's essential you have to start UL as well as the that a closing tag. Now inside the you list out your element. So that is a LI, list the a specific item. Okay, whatever point that you have to represent. So that also you can represent here. Like that is output. Yes, that is the exact output. If I will add down LI, roll number 1, so it's a circle and then it's represent roll number 1. Next after LI, roll number 2, 3 and 4. So that we call a unordered list, where there is, we have one attribute that we call a type. So you can also use a 3 type, the default that we see the disk. Then you can also set circle, as well as also you can set a square as per the your requirement. So let's we check for that output. First of all, any query in an image tag? Now you can easily compare with your output. I will start a UL tag and close the UL tag. In between, you have to write LI, list of item, where you can represent it. So you can see I write down roll number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's a represent roll number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's start with the disk. Now, for example, if you not represent that disk and you have to represent like a circle, so that also you can use it. And also we have one more choice that we called a square, so that also you can put it. Like we check for the type is equal to circle. So now you can see the output, the disk, it changed into the circle. Same way too you can use for the square. So here you can see it's represent into the square. So that we called a unordered list. Now next that we have a order list. So it start from the OL, order list, and again it's required that a closing tag. And again inside the attribute that is a cell, LI, list of the item. So now you can clearly compare both unordered list where they have to represent in a disk, square, and circle. And order list where you can see it's start from the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here in again order list where we have again a type. So where you can represent the sequence into the small alphabet, small letter, capital letter, as well as the in a Roman number also. So let's we go for that example. Now these are the attribute where you can use it. Like for example, if you represent a small I, so it's represent into the I2, I3, that is a number. Same way to a capital letter where you can go through it. Then as I said, small a, b, c, that sequence. Same way to capital a, b, c, d, that sequence. And default that you can see the output 1, 2, 3 up to. So that is a 5 attribute where you can use for the specific that output into the order list. So let's we check for that output. Yes, Ray, you can leave the meeting again. You can join it if you have any problem. Now you can see I have used type that is the pipe. So now it's a directly change. Same way to you go for a capital, that is for capital, like a small alphabet, that is for small alphabet. Same way to capital alphabet. And if you not use any, so it's a default which is start from the 1, 2, 3 up to 5. So now any query in order list and unordered list. Okay, so let's we move to another take. Now, for example, if you represent some list of definitions, like for example, computer to that computer definition, electrical to that electrical definitions, mechanical to that mechanical definition, so that also you can represent its. Yes, Palan, yes. So let's we go for the list of a definition. So that is as per the definition list. So that is the full form of the DL. So now the DL that is a definition list. Like for example, if you represent a list name 1, and then after that definition in detail, so that also you can use it. Same like a list 2, and that definition you can represent it. So in that you have to again two subcategory that is the DT. The T for the that topic. So that topic you have to write down here, and DD for the that description. It means that definitions whatever meaning that you have to represent it. Again you have to start from new take, then again that dd, and then again that closing, as well as the definition list that also closing tag it's required. So let's we check for that output. Now you clearly see I will start a DL take, that closing, DT, that DT closing, and DD, and again that closing take here. Now that is the output, like that is the definitions in detail. That is the definition in detail where you have to represent it. Like we go for computer definition. Now you can see easily computer, so an electronic machine that can store, find, arrange information, calculate amount, and control the other machine also. That type of represent, if you require, you can go for the definition list, where that topic or whatever definition and that descriptions you can write here. So that is the example where you can easily go for the definition list where you have to represent in your simple web page. Here, like if you represent some colon, so that also you can do it. So that is for the good output. That also you can put it as per your requirement. It means okay, after the DT, whatever you write, exactly that same information it's represent here. And then after the inside the DD tag and that closing, whatever you write, so that is represent after the next that putting some space. So that we called a DL, a definition list. Now the next and last tag that we called a table. Like for example, if you represent some information instead of the table, that also you can easily represent it. So now the table tag, the first of all we learn how the table value it's organized in a web page. So we remember the 2 point. So it's represent row by row. Now it's represent through a left to right hand side. It means in your browser it start from the here left hand side to right hand side. It's also represent row by row. And we also require that starting table tag as well as that closing table tag. So now inside the table, first of all, we have to generate a table row. So that is the command that we called a tr. Tr meaning a table row, because the first of all we have defined that a row. Now inside the row where we have to add that a detail. So that we call a td. It means a table definition or that a table data, okay, whatever that we have to put into the cell. Like for example, I have to make a row of the table. So I have to require start a table tag, then start a tr table row. Now in this I have to use like a two field td, so cell 1, and then after again that td tag cell 2. Then again essentials requirement that a tr tag closing, at the end a table tag closing. So let's we go for that out. Again, I repeat the table text start tr a table row. In this, I have to two cell information represent that closing as well as the table closing. Now you can see it's represent cell 1 and cell 2. And as I said, it start from the left hand side to right hand side. It means cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4 up to continue. It's only created one row. You can see here only one row in a data it's represent. Now, for example, I have created like another row. Okay, here I have represent a cell 3 and like here a cell 4. Like for example, I have create here another row where I have to represent a cell 3 as well as the cell 4. So that's why I have to create one a tr tag in this two td tag where I have to represent each. So that we called a 2 by 2 table. There is one questions. Sir, can we use a column instead of the row? No, it's a default which you have to go through by row wise row. So now, as I discussed, okay, we have to like make a table with a two row. It means I have to create a second row. So again, I have to start a tr tag. Now in this, as we same discuss, I have to create a cell 3 and cell 4. So let's we go for that output. After completing the first tr, so here I have used a one more. You can easily see the starting of table tag. The first my row in this two cell I have represent. Then again I have start another row. In this again two cell it's represent, and that closing, and at the last table tag closing. Now you can see the output. Next row it's generated. Here you can see the value cell 3 and cell 4 it's a tree present. So again I repeat the table that it's created by row. And it's a default represent left hand side to right hand side. It means here cell 1 then cell 2, if you have then after cell 3 cell 4 in your specific web page. Now in a table tag, there we have one property, okay, where you have to create a border that you can easily image, okay, that is actually represent a table, because here you can see the output. So it's not like data represented to a table. It means until and unless if you not represent the border, then it's look like a actual table. So that's why we have one attribute that we called a border. You can apply the border as well as you can also apply that color as per the your requirement. So let's we check for that output. Like first we only just go for the border. Now you can see border one, it's a represent. Now for example, if I've said 3, so it's again pixel wise which increase your thickness of your border. The one that is small, 2 increase, 3 increase. Like for example said 10. So that is again increase too much. Now you can see it's an increase. So that is property that we call a table border. And next we have a BG color. BG color, it means a background color. That also you can fill for your table also. That also you can see thickness 3 and entire table which represent with a gray color. Like also we said for green, so that you can see the table which represent into the green color. Now these are the basic take for in a HTML. If you go through the in detail, so it's required to one semester to study in detail entire HTML language. But as per our syllabus, okay, where we only just study the basic tag, okay, where student able to represent that photos and that detail regarding. So we also learn, okay, how we insert the image. That also we go through a different module, like where you represent your information through some definition wise, some order wise, some table wise. So that basic all essential tag that we learn, as well as a background color, font change, font color, font size increase, decrease, where you represent some font, a bold, italic. So that whatever essential tag that we already completed. So here we completed our first practical as per the GTU syllabus. So now any query in a basic HTML tag? So let's we take the attendance and then we move to another practicals. Now just check the my screen. I have already take the attendance and where you can verify your name for the attendance. The P, that is the meaning of the present. Just only 3 students is absent. Tushar, Jaimin and Jaimin C. Solanki. Remaining all are present. Just verify your name with a P. That is the meaning of the present. And if you have any query, then just put a message in chat box. So let's we continue with another. There is one question, sir. We have to make a note of this chapter. No, again, I same instruction repeat. For the computer workshop, for two practical, you have to not require any lecture note. I already uploaded a lab manual. In a lab manual, where you get a list of all take with that in detail explanations. So in a computer side, you have to not require making any lecture note. And whenever your electrical as well as the mechanical practical start, so that also you can ask for that subject faculty. So now that is your syllabus as per the GTU, and where we go through like a computer. So we just completed, the student has built to Hat Owen website where a basic profile about his department, his own personal information and basic institute detail where you can represent it. It means the using of the HTML where you can represent your profile. It means your photos, your department detail, your personal detail like first name, last name, middle name, your educational, your if you have any achievement, then your college name, your class, your batch. So that all things you will easily able to do in your web page where use of the simple HTML tag. Now the next practical that we start from next week in a where we learn regarding the Windows OS as well as the Linux OS. So in this practical where we go through the a simple basic tag, okay, where we get regarding data detail. It means as a Windows, what is the awareness that you have to require? Same way to for the Linux. What are the basic command that you have to aware it? So these are the two practical that you study from the computer department. So again, I repeat, any query from basic HTML tag? So let's we go for a simple overview regarding the different OS. Just type in chat box how many OS name that you know except the Windows and Linux. Okay, one answer from the Mac OS, good. Okay, also Dharmic Mac. So we have a three list: Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay, one good answer from the Deep. Parrot OS, Debian OS, yes, correct answer. Linux, Unix, good student. Now, if we discuss about the Linux platform, so in a Linux where you get a many more detail like a Parrot OS, Backtrack OS, Kali OS, then one more name, Metafoils. Ubuntu, so many type of version where you get it. Similar way to like we discuss about Windows. So like we have about previously we go through the Windows XP, then Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, and latest we discuss about Windows 10. So now in the next level, we start from the Windows where we learn a basic take, how we get a detail regarding the Windows OS. And then after we move to into the Ubuntu where also we learn that basic and simple take. Shrey, just off your camera. So that is from the practicals. Yes, again, one more answer I get iOS and Android OS. Yes, so that we discuss about like a mobile platform, so where we have Android OS, iOS OS. Thank you, student. So we completed the lab sessions. You can lab the meeting. And again, I request to all to join a Google Classroom.